Welcome to On The Bit, your weekly preview of the weekend's racing. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Very good, Dave.
We've got a huge day of racing coming up at Rosehill this weekend for Golden Slipper Day. 5 big Group 1s. But the weather's taken a turn for the worse there, Lenny.
Yeah, it looks like it might be heavy, Dave. So
we're doing our preview Thursday night. And I've done it for basically sort of a slow slow 6, but the track could end up heavy, as Lenny said. So we use that as a get-out clause if we are totally wrong for the weekend. But the first big race is obviously the $3.5 million Group 1 Golden Slipper for 2-year-olds, the richest 2-year-old race in the world. And who do you like in the Golden Slipper, Lenny?
Dave, I'm going to stay safe in the Golden Slipper. I like Sweet Idea. Hasn't really done anything wrong. It got beaten a lip in the Magic Millions.
Yeah.
It's won on a heavy. That's
true. Yeah.
It's drawn barrier 4, and it's got probably the hottest jock in Australia at the moment. Jimmy Cassidy at the ripe old age of 50 is just flying. I think this horse at 15 bucks, I think he's a great bet each way.
Yeah, I think she's a good chance too. Personally, I think the favourite's been a standout for the last few weeks for mine. She's just, the last 2 races, she's just really dominated. I think once she drew barrier 1, really cemented it for me. Everyone's been saying barrier 1 might be a danger for her, but I just think she's the type of horse that actually sits on a fast pace and then accelerates. So I just think from barrier 1 she'll actually dominate. So I really find her very hard to beat here. I just like her. I think even at $2.30 she's good value. But I do believe that Sweet Idea is a good Quinella chance in this round. $2.5 million weight for age BMW over 2,500. And who do you like in the BMW, Lenny?
Dave, I find this a pretty tough race. I think there's going to be really good speed.
Yep.
But the prospect of the wet track, I think it brings in a few horses into calculations. I'm actually going with a seasoned old campaigner, My Lucky Day.
Yep.
I think his runs this time in have been really good. I thought he hit the line pretty well over the 2,000 last start, and stepping up to the 2,400 is really going to suit him, and he has performed on a wet track well behind So You Think. Yeah, that time, which was pretty wet, so I think he'll come into calculations.
Yeah, I agree with you. Interesting jockey change here on the favourite 5.5 star. Hugh Bowman goes on, and I think it was ridden quite badly last start, 5.5 star. I think Rosehill really murdered it, so that didn't help him. So with Hugh Bowman going on board, who's probably the best distance jockey going around, I think that'll help him. But I definitely think the value is My Lucky Day as well, over at $6.50 at the moment. I think he's made a good progression into these races. I think the Hawk stable have really set him for this race. They've stepped him up 400 metres each start, and this is the race he's really been looking for and he should peak in. So although I think 5.5 star will be ridden better this week, I think over the last 200 you might just find that My Lucky Day, although it'll be giving him a big start, will finish very strongly and win. He's great each way value at $6.50. I'd be backing him each way at $6.50 rather than the favourite. My Lucky Day is on the bit for mine. Another big Group 1 is the weight for age George Ryder Stakes over 1,500 metres. And who do you like in the George Ryder?
Dave, pretty hard to go past Piero.
Yeah.
He's 2 from 2 on the heavy.
Yep.
You know, his win last time in against the older horses was fantastic. I do think it's a different kettle of fish, but he's against some seasoned weight for age performers. I still think he'll win, but I think there's a real big danger and shootout in this race. And for mine, I'd be taking a Quinella or an Exacta with Piero to win from shootout, and I'd be going that way. Yeah,
there's no doubt you can't go past Piero. Alonro Colt, who's just really taken everything before him, unbeaten in Sydney. You know, and the 3-year-olds have had it over the older horses for all of the autumn so far, so really hard to go past Piero. Should box seat behind the 2 New Zealand horses that should make the pace in this race. And I find it really hard for anyone to sort of match his finishing burst over the last bit. The only hesitation is the heavy track with him. wonder if it was a really heavy track, how he's going to be suited to it. And a couple of these older horses have really performed on wet tracks before. So that's the only thing. He's $1.55 on the fixed odds, so he's not really great value at the moment, but for mine he's on the bid as well. The fourth Group 1 of the day, and there's 5 Group 1s on the card. The fourth Group 1 is the Queen of the Turf, over 1500 metres for fillies and mares. And who do you like in the Queen of the Turf, Lenny?
Well, Dave, I've got More Joyous. Just simply, she's 7 wins from 8 starts, second up, and she's the Queen of the Turf in Sydney. But I say it with hesitation. That track is bordering on heavy. I would be going with Red Tracer. Her form's been outstanding, and she's an absolute duck in the wet. More Joyous on a dead to slow, I think she just wins. Her form's on the board, but yeah, if it gets to heavy, Red Tracer for mine.
Yeah, well, true. I think More Joyous on weights, the set weights at 57, not giving any of them weight. She's just, you know, ratings points above everything else. She really should cap off a huge day for Gay Waterhouse here. She could possibly win 3 Group 1s based on my selections. Again, she'll box seat. Again, I think they'll find it really hard to beat her. Red Tracer is the mudlark in the field. More Joyous has won 4 from 5 on slow tracks. I do doubt Red Tracer at the 1500 slightly, so I still think More Joyous will be stronger in the last 100. But again, she's $1.35 fixed odds, More Joyous, so very skinny odds. You need to really multi them up, and there's a few multi players in the followers on the bit, so they'll probably multi them up. But yeah, she looks like the standout there, but you know, $1.35, you really do need to multi her up to get any sort of dividend out of it. The fifth and final Group 1, and probably the most open Group 1 really, is the Vinery Stud Stakes for 3-year-old fillies over 2,000 metres, and I think there's a lot of good value in this race. Who have you ended up with, Lenny?
Well, Norzita's not a huge value, but I like to run against the older mares last start, and she goes back to the 3-year-old fillies here. Obviously, the question mark is she's going from a mile to 2,000, but she is trained by Bart Cummings.
Yep.
And if any horse is ever going to stay, he'll get it to do it. And she just gives the impression, the way she hits the line, that she's looking for the 2,000. She has placed on a slow track previously. Thorne Park's usually handle it.
Yep.
And I think she'll be winning for mine. She's on the bid.
Haven't you got a doubt about Thorne Park's at 2,000, mate? Haven't you knocked Thorne Park?
Yeah, once before, but then we had a horse called Ocean Park come out and win the Cox Plate last year. So I think Jimmy Shue might have put that doubt in my head at the 2,000, but then Ocean Park come out and won the 2,000.
That's my doubt about Norzita. I think the 1,500 to the 2,000 is a little bit of a worry for me. Yeah, I'm just worried about whether she is really a true 2,000 metre horse. I think she's great at the mile. So I'm actually going with the Melbourne fillies here in a very open race. I think they come in really well. You're So Good has really been very impressive. She was impressive winning last start in quite a good quality yet small field at Moonee Valley. She was just beaten in the Australian Guineas by the males. And I think she comes into the race really well. She's by Zavabeel, so I think the 2,000 will actually suit her right down to the ground. She'll sit fairly handy in this field. She doesn't need to lead, although she led last start. I just think this is well within her scope, and she's $13 fixed odds. I just think she's great each way value here. And I'm expecting another big run from another Melbourne filly, and that's Summer Bliss. Summer Bliss ran third to, or second to You're So Good, or second or third to You're So Good last start. But she couldn't get a lot of room in the straight. She was cramped. If she had got a good run at them, she wouldn't have beaten You're So Good, but she would have finished a lot closer. And I just think the step up to 2,000 is really going to suit this filly right down to the ground. So I'm expecting her. She's going to get a little bit further back. She'll need a little bit more luck, but if she gets plenty of room in the straight, she's $21 on the fixed odds. I just think, again, she's great each way value. So I'm going to take the 2 Melbourne fillies, back them each way, and hope for a bit of a result in that. So to your best on breeding, mate. Who's your best on breeding?
My best on breeding this week is race 9, number 15 Aeronautical.
Rosehill?
Rosehill, yep. He was purchased for $100,000 at the 2010 Magic Million sale. He's buying Costa del Lago, and needs no introduction. He's twice been the champion sire in Australia, side the champion Alingi. This gelding is beautifully bred. His dam was listed place, and then her dam is out of the Group 1 winner Stella Cadente, who most would remember, and then the fourth dam on this page is one of the best in the stud book. The dam is the dam of Bint Masqué, Volante, and Kenny's Best Pal, just to name a couple. So yeah, great pedigree. It
is a great pedigree. Okay, my value bet for the weekend is Rosehill Race 2, number 7, Diva D. She's been racing in group company for the last 3 starts. Last start she ran in a Group 2 company against Overreach, who I think will win the slipper. She got beaten 6 lengths, but it's really no disgrace to be beaten that far by Overreach. I think Overreach won the race by about 4 lengths anyway. I think she's dropped back. She hasn't gone towards the slipper. She's dropped back to this race, which is a slightly easier race, gone up in distance to the 1400, which would really suit her. As I said, she's raced in Group 3 company before that, got beat by some really good horses. Still a maiden, but I think this is the race that suits her. She's $9 fixed odds, great each way value. She is coming from barrier 18 and Peter Roebuck, who I'm still dark on for his beaten ride on 5.5 star last start, but I'll forgive him. He'll get back slightly from that barrier 18, but I think she'll be able to swoop home and be right in the finish here. So I'll be trying to get an early win on the Rosehill card. On the bid specials, Lenny, who's your on the bid special for this week, mate?
We're going to the first race, Dave.
Yep.
Lights of Heaven. I think she's absolutely primed for this. 1.5 lengths second in the Group 2 in Melbourne. She's back to a quality event here, and she's giving the rest of the field 4 kilos. She's got the 58. I really think that's not enough for them.
Yeah.
She's got prize money in excess of 1.2 million. The next best in the field's 440k. So that just shows you the class that Lights of Heaven's got. And she has got form on a heavy track, so she'll be winning for mine. Yeah,
I was just about to say, now that the rain's come, I actually think she really comes right into it. She'd be very, very hard to beat. I nearly put her on top myself. I was on the bid special. I've got, I'm going to go to Moonee Valley, stablemate of Lights of Heaven actually. I'm going to go to Moonee Valley race 8, number 7, Club Command. Big run first up. He was off a very long break, which is the only concern. He's now second up off a long break, which is normally something that I'd be very wary of, but I just think this horse is a lot better than the field that he meets on Saturday. So I just think with the natural improvement from his first up run, he can still be right in the finish here. What really got me is that he's actually $5 fixed odds. I just think it's a great price for this horse. So I just think you should get on for plenty. I just think he's on the bit and just wins the last of Moonee Valley, taking 1 out and everything. Club Command for mine. Off the bit, lay, Lenny. Who are you laying for the weekend?
5.5 star, Dave.
5.5 star? Well, he hasn't won one yet, so...
No,
he always finds one better than him.
If it was a good track, I think he's right in contention, but it's not going to be, we know that. He's got no form on a slow or heavy. He did run 4th in a Fernhill on a heavy, but that's the closest run he's ever had.
Yeah.
And I think you're stepping up to weight for age, Group 1, 2,400 metres against the older horses. You want to be really handling the wet track to be knocking him off. So I think he's a big risk at the price.
Yeah, I think the only advantage he's got is huge bowman going on. But yeah, at the price you'd have to lay him as well. My lay is at Moonee Valley again. I'm going to go to another stablemate of Club Command. I'm going to lay race 4, number 10, Angels Beach. She's 2 from 2 this filly, but last start she won a 0.68 at Sandown. She's now stepping up to an open class 3-year-old fillies race, which is actually a very good quality race. She's drawn barrier 13. Jason Bembo on board. I just think the huge step up in class for mine. She should be, you know, double each way odds. She's come up $3 fixed, $3 favourite fixed odds. I think she's way too short here in a very, very competitive race. Some good fillies in this race. I just think she's off the bit for mine, and I'll lay her in race 4, number 10, Angels Beach. So that's it for this weekend.